just finished this whimsical illustration of a stork and a baby. So today we're going to talk about storks and babies. Apparently, the association between the two goes back centuries, and I've heard about it all over the world. There was this Sioux legend that I read where, kind of as a matter of fact, this stork just delivers a baby at the beginning of the story. And it goes back as far back as Greece. So ancient Greece, yeah. Although that is tenuous. It might be a crane, apparently. The elderly were more associated with storks. And they had this law about caring for the elderly, and it was named Pelargonia after Pelargus, which is stork. Anyway, so ancient Greece might not be the epicenter for stork baby associations. What is probably the epicenter is Europe, because in Europe they usually had marriages in June, and then lo and behold, 9 months later, the storks would migrate through. And so in the wake of this stork migration, all these babies would be delivered. So that might be, that's quite possibly the association. But then it spread all around the world. Hans Christian Andersen really popularized it in his little fairy tale called The Storks, which was released in the same year that Daguerre mass-produced his primitive camera, and early telegraph lines were going all around the world. So the world was becoming a smaller and smaller place. Information was going. The first Opium War happened over in China, which prevented David Livingstone from, bless you again, from going to China. Instead, he decided to go to Africa because of all the unrest that was happening over there. So anyway, after the story went viral, Victorian couples found it more convenient and amusing to say that storks deliver the babies instead of talking about the potentially awkward subject where babies came from, which I think should be stated that babies came from marriage. God made babies to come in families. But as you know, it's complicated. So anyway, I made this amusing and whimsical picture of a stork delivering the baby called Early Delivery. We're having a Kickstarter, and this and 2 other pieces are being sold in the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is doing really well. In half a week, it's already made its goal, which means that the project is viable. The prints are going to happen. They're going to be shipped out. So now we've got a stretch goal to help provide for my family, and I ship more prints. And if you want a copy of this picture or the other pictures, then you should come and be a part of the campaign. Thank you.